Hi VC, Lee here, south coast of England. Hope you're all well. Now, I know I'm fashionably late for the vinyl tag, but I have got my reasons. I've been ill for a little while, but I didn't want to miss out, so apologies for being late to the party, but better late than never. So yeah, vinyl tag, yeah, this was my gateway into the VC. Last year the vinyl tag was my first video. I've only done a few since, so my bad. I need to up my game on that. But yes, Rob Walker, thank you again for coming up with some interesting questions, and the 20 that he set, I'm going to try and work my way through them now. So let's go. My favourite record purchased in 23, it's an old one, but an oldie but goodie. It is 808 States New Build. It's their first album, and this is an original press that I got from my favourite record shop in West Sussex. Malcolm, shout out to Malcolm over in Arundel. You gave me an excellent price for this one. I know a lot of you guys tend to go for bands, singer-songwriter type records for your faves, but some of that doesn't really do it for me. And electronic music is I've always found exciting, and that is a really exciting album. Lots of exciting sounds. Although it was late 80s, I think it was produced, it still sounds fresh. All the tunes are different. Love it. So really excited to get a copy of that. It looks something a little bit different. Number 2, the last record I purchased in 23 was Lankum, False Lankum. I know this has been raved about in a lot of the end of year polls in Britain in particular, but this one came with a signed print by the band from Resident Records in Brighton. So I don't really normally go for this kind of music. Folk music's not really my thing, but this is something different, and yeah, different angle on it, quite deep, quite melancholy, but enjoyable. So that was the last one I bought at the back end of 2023. That's Lankum. Question 3, a band or singer that released 2 or more albums in the same year. Yes, back onto my electronic theme. This is Luke Vibert, who is an electronic music producer and produced a raft of albums. He's a friend and colleague of the Aphex Twin, the same sort of age, and again, his music's excellent. But he actually produced 3 albums in one year. This is Rave Hop, Eamon Andrews, and they're all loosely based on a different style. So this one is based around the Amen drum break, which is a lot of jungle music was based on, and Modern Rave. So 3 different albums. I think they all came out in 2020, and I've got a feeling this was a limited run from Warp Records, and I think they were, yes, glow in the dark vinyl. So some limited run. So yeah, not 2 but 3 records from Luke Vibert in the same year. Question 4, if you could listen to music from one decade, which would it be? Yeah, tough one, and I think a lot of you guys have struggled with this one, but I think on balance I will go for the 90s. It was the era when I was in my 20s, so I was really getting into music in a big way, and to me that was the golden era of hip-hop and techno, alternative rock, grunge, Britpop, even though I don't really like the term Britpop. So a tough one if you had to just limit yourself to one decade, but that's what I would do. I'll go the 90s. So yeah, the 90s. Number 5, the band or singer from Manchester. I've gone with the Durutti Column. Now this is a reissue of their debut album, which originally had the sandpaper cover. This does have a sandpaper cover underneath, so I've got to keep it well away and protect it from the rest. But I've got a few of their albums, really beautiful fluid guitar style, lovely ambient washes of sound, and yeah, still going strong. That's the Durutti Column from Manchester. Question 6, which band or singer did you listen to the most? I am going to stick to my electronic theme, and it's this one. Interesting cover. It is CS and Cream Orange. The album actually came out in 22, but the vinyl version I think was only issued in 2023. Very hard to describe this one. It's electronic music, but it's kind of ambient with beautiful sort of haunting passages, sort of jazzy inflections. No real beats behind it, but there was something about this that I kept coming back to. Just draws you in. Quite a haunting, quite a beautifully produced record. So that's the one I listened to the most this year, both on the vinyl copy that I've got here and via streaming services. So bit of an unusual one for me, but that's the one that I kept coming back to. So yeah, CS and Cream. What's the next question? 7. Show 7 by 7 records. Right. So from the band that gave you Seven Nation Army, I gave you the White Stripes. I've got 7 of theirs. Starting with Lafayette Blues. Hello Operator and Jolene, cover of the Dolly Parton single. This one is Blue Orchid. I think this is my favourite of their songs. This came out after the Elephant album, I think. Really great funky tune. 2 versions of the Denial Twist was this one. This one sort of came in 2 parts, so 2 records there. And then to make up my 7 is Icky Thump. Part of this came free with the NME. It's a double vinyl in a gatefold, so there's 1 red record and 1 white. So that's the 7 from the same, and the White Stripes. Yes. Number 8, tough question I thought this one. Who's coming to your party? I've gone with Stevie Wonder. He's a personal hero of mine, so I would have loved to spend any time with him. My second one is Damon Albarn, same sort of age as me. I grew up listening to his music. He's obviously produced several different styles of music, with Blur and Gorillaz and the Good, the Bad and the Queen. Yeah, I just love to pick his brains. I'm sure he's a really interesting character. To give it a bit of spice, I'm going to invite Grace Jones as well. I'm sure she'll be good company, pretty feisty, but I'd like to see what happens there. And then finally, I'm going to go with Chuck D from Public Enemy, because he knows what time it is. So yeah, that's my 4 coming to my party. Question 9. We lost them in 2023. Yes, I've gone with Richie Sakamoto of Yellow Magic Orchestra, and fantastic solo artist in his own right, and he was producing music right up until his passing. So yeah, sadly we lost him in 2023, Richie. Yeah, question 10. If you could listen to music from only one country, which would it be? Again, as I don't want to be disloyal to my birthplace, Britain, but I am going to go with the United States. Yeah, for me, this is the birthplace of jazz, of hip hop, of techno, rock and roll, you name it. It all came from there. That's the source. So I'm going for the USA. And that's where it all came from for me. What's next? Question 11. 3 VC channels you discovered in 2023. Yeah, I'm going for my first one is Dom at Seeking a Thread. He's over in the USA and discovered him last year. He goes to the corners of the musical world that are quite unusual and quite like jazz, alternative rock. And he's always finding interesting records, and I've picked up a couple of records on his recommendation as well, an Acetone compilation. So that's my first one. My second one is probably my favourite, is Harris Pilton. Shout out to him down the south coast along the road from me. He's the funniest man on the VC, and he's got an excellent taste in music. I always enjoy watching his videos. And finally, a bit of a curveball, not necessarily a vinyl community guy, but he's called the Brum Reseller. Clues in the Title. He's based out of Birmingham. His videos are around going to car boot sales and seeing what he can find to resell. But he owns 2 record shops in Birmingham, so a lot of his purchases at the boot sales are collections of vinyl, and he'll run through them as he's going around and take them back to the shop. But he'll also upload videos on what collections he's bought in the shop. So maybe sort of a British version of Noble Records, the guy in America. Yeah, so the Brum Reseller, not strictly a vinyl community video guy, but along the same line. So yeah, those are my 3. What's next? Show a record you bought as a teenager. I'm going with Adam and the Ants. This would have been really early teens for me. Love this album. The first ever concert I went to, my parents took me to the Brighton Centre. Good one to start with, that was. And I'll still listen to this record now. In fact, I put it on the other day. There's a track on there. Oh, which one is it? No, I can't find it. But anyway, what a classic album. Still go back to it now. Show a funk or soul record. Right up my street. This is one of my favourite types of genre. So I could have gone for loads, and there's several of them up there. But I've gone with this one, Gloria Ann Taylor, who I didn't know too much about until this reissue came out on Light in the Attic a few years ago. Really kind of deep psychedelic soul, and I really like singers where you can feel that it's coming from the heart, and you certainly can with Gloria. Really sort of deep production. It's got the sort of a Motown big band sound, but slightly different, slightly more psychedelic, and I can definitely recommend this. Beautiful. The track Love Is a Hurting Thing, there's 2 versions of that on this, absolutely stunning. So I guess it's a soul record in essence. So yeah, that's my soul and funk record. Next question is a record everyone has and nobody has. I've gone for Purple Rain. It was a big seller back in the day, and I suspect that a lot of people have got this one, so that's the one I've gone for everyone to have. And the one that no one has, I have showed this before in another video, but this is a promo version of Röyksopp's first album. I think it's called Melody AM, and you'll notice that it's numbered. If I can bring it up to the corner there, 100 number copies. And you'll notice that the artwork is a spray stenciled, and if you look at the press release inside, I don't know if that's coming out in the correct way, but artwork by Banksy. So yes, this was 100 copies of the promo album, hand sprayed by Banksy. So in terms of musical output, it's not the best, but the reason that this, I guess not many of you will have this, is because of the artwork by Banksy. Now, I'll leave you to look up how much this goes for, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, to be honest, but it's Röyksopp, Melody AM. Yes, the next record, She's Great, a record by a female artist you bought in 2023. I went for Angel Bat Dawid. This is kind of a live album. It's quite heavy listening, actually, because it's quite political, but beautiful, sort of jazzy live band feel. So yeah, I've enjoyed listening to that one a few times this year. Angel Bat Dawid, I'm not sure how you say it. Your favourite videos you posted. As I said earlier, I haven't done enough. I've only done less than a handful of videos, so sorry guys, but so I'm not going to promote one there. But as I said, my favourite videos have been Harris Pilton's. He's my go-to guy when he brings a video out. So any of his recent ones, I'll vote for. Show a record you consider a 90s classic. So yeah, again, as the 90s was my favourite era, I've got quite a few of these, but I'll go with this one, OK Computer. This is an original press that got bought back in the day. Everyone knows this one, I would guess, and would deem it a classic. personally, my favourite is the Kid A Amnesiac era, but yeah, this one's the a 90s classic, 97, I think. 97? Yeah, 97. There you go, Radiohead. If you could walk into one cover, I really struggle with this one, but I've gone for another electronic album. Autocare or Tekra, I'm not quite sure how you say it, but there's some sort of cliff and beach set up there, but bathed in evening sunlight. So that would be somewhere I'd like to go and have a stroll and ponder on life. So yeah, Autocare. It's Amber, I think, is the album. Yep. It's question 19. It's like a greatest hit. Show a record you're so familiar with. And I've gone for this one. Queens of the Stone Age, Songs for the Deaf. This is the original UK pressing. As I said, I'm not a big rocker. I don't normally go for that sort of type of music, but this is absolutely superb. Every tune on here, absolutely brilliant. Really melodic, rocks hard. Got Dave Grohl on it and Mark Lanigan, really good guest stars on it. But it's fantastic. I put this on all the time in the car, on the CD, on the turntable. Yeah, I'm so familiar with it. So yeah, Queens are Quatsa. And finally, what's the last question? An album released in 1974. I don't think anyone showed this yet, but it's quite a big album from the year. It's got to be Kraftwerk and Autobahn. 50 years old this year, so that's my choice, the Electronic Masters, Kraftwerk. So yeah, thanks guys, hope you're all well. That's my belated contribution to the Vinyl Tag 2024. See you soon.